In healthcare, scale is difficult, but building a dominant position across multiple specialities is even harder. So, how do you actually achieve that? Today, we're looking at how one company built its foundation in Japan and how that model could support long term growth. I'm joined by Stephen Rogers, Head of Global Planning and Strategy at SBC Medical Group Holdings Incorporated. Stephen, welcome to the Watchlist.
Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you with us today. So tell us, Stephen, to start, can you give our viewers an overview of SBC and the business foundation you've built in Japan?
Sure. SBC is the Shonan Beauty Clinic. It's the number one aesthetic clinic in Japan with over 283 clinics, both in Japan and worldwide. We have about 2.1 million customers come through our doors with a 72% repeat rate. So customers love our brands. They love coming to our clinics, and they come on average about 3 times a year for treatments. So we're seeing over 6.6 million appointments across all of our clinics in Japan. So we provide a multitude of different services. So you can think of us in terms of the cosmetic surgical side, if you want to get any type of liposuction or anything like that, as well as non-invasive dermatology. So we're one of the number one users of Botox in the world as well. And now we've expanded into the healthcare arena, including orthopedics, fertility, pediatrics, dentistry, etc. So growing brand, growing portfolio, and doing a lot of cool things in Japan.
Well, that is definitely a big portfolio, but building a leading position in a healthcare requires both scale and execution. So, how are you able to establish that number one position that you were speaking about?
Yeah, it's taken a very long time. SBC has been around for 26 years. It was started by Dr. Yoshiyuki Aikawa 26 years ago with a single plastic surgery clinic, with a foundational concept of building trust and being the number one most trusted brand in aesthetics. And when you think about somebody who wants to get a treatment done, whether it's Botox, filler, or a cosmetic surgery, there's a lot of anxiety that can go into that decision. And we found that one of the biggest hurdles is this going to be safe? Can I trust this doctor? Can I trust this clinic? Is it going to be okay? And so we've really made sure that all of our clinics and doctors are providing the highest level of service and quality to build trust with our customers. And sometimes that means if a patient comes in and they're not a good candidate for a treatment, we won't give them that treatment. And we also try to build trust too through our marketing. We provide very transparent pricing. So if you go to our website, you can see the pricing for every single treatment. So you know exactly how much you're going to pay even before you walk in through any of our doors. And you also see we offer we actually offer a monitoring program too. So this is a program that gives you discount prices if you let us do a before and after photo of you and post it up. That way we can show everyone the real results that you would get across all of our different treatments. So people have really clear expectations in terms of what they can expect. And so this is all about building trust with our customers. And that's taken a really long time. It's taken 26 years to really build that. And I would say that we're the number one trusted brand. And so when people are thinking about getting any type of treatment done, the first name that comes to mind is always SBC. And that's something that we're really proud of. And I would say it's very hard for anyone else to do that because it's taken us a long time, and it's something that we work very hard on every day.
And as the platform has grown, you've expanded across multiple medical specialities, some of which you just mentioned there. So, why focus on areas like orthopedics, fertility, dentistry, and general medical fields?
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say even since the beginning, when the company was founded, it's always had a larger vision of being more than just an aesthetics business, but it wanted to be the largest medical business in Japan and eventually globally too. And so when we're building the infrastructure of how we expand and support the different clinics, it was built for that purpose. And so that way, when we were expanding and working on the aesthetic side, moving over into the non-aesthetic side, it's just a very seamless process for us. Additionally, it adds a lot more flexibility into our business model. So, we're not just tied to the aesthetic market, but we have a lot of avenues to grow and diversify our portfolio and to adjust a strategy as needed, depending on the demographics and where the market's moving. So we have a lot of inherent flexibility in our model, and we can adjust as needed.
And so, looking further ahead, then, your strategy places a strong emphasis on longevity. Why is longevity such a central part of your mid to long term vision?
Well, I'm personally trying to live forever, but besides that, we do emphasize a lot on longevity. Jokes aside, it's just such a huge area, and there's a lot of dynamic growth. In this field, especially in the U.S. In Japan, it's still very nascent. You don't see a lot of the trends happening there that have already been in the US and overseas for a really long time. So like in the US, you're seeing a lot of biomarker testing companies, like using AI to create curated treatment plans, this concept of health span, biological age versus chronological age. These are a lot of concepts that are gaining popularity in the US, but really haven't gained much popularity in Japan yet. And so we feel like this is a really cool opportunity to leverage some of these movements that we're seeing and get first mover advantage in Japan. We already have the infrastructure in place to support it. We have, over in Japan, over 250 clinics. We've got doctors in place. And so to layer on a lot of these longevity treatments and therapies really makes sense. And it feels like a seamless growth path for us. The longevity market in Japan is about 34 billion, which is about 8.5 times larger than the aesthetic market. So I feel like this is a huge growth opportunity for us.
So, no magic potion to live forever just yet, but we won't take it off the cards.
When I find it, you'll be the first to know.
Fantastic. I'll hold you to
Yeah.
that. So, it
Okay.
sounds like this is a business built on scale and diversification, and now evolving toward a longer term focus on preventative care and longevity as well. Thank you so much for your time today, Stephen.
Great. Thank you so much.
Once again, that is Stephen Rogers, Head of Global Planning and Strategy at SBC Medical Group. For more on the company and its strategy, visit ir.sbc-holdings.com. That's all for this episode of The Watchlist. I'm Ricky Lee. Make good choices today.